Alright, let's get some stuff done. Let's paste. Let's have this out. Temperature doesn't seem too bad. I still would not mind having a little bit of airflow. This pendant, or talisman, done. Should be able to get it all set tonight. Hide the stuff. Yep. It's a little cluttered at the moment, Betty. Just a little bit. Pretty soon it's going to get a massive expansion. And that will be wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Hi, Joey. Hi, Garmin. How's it going? Still kind of, I might not get to wrap this guy around this bottle like I originally intended to. Who knows? When we get there. Let me get to this thing finished first. Oh, not bad. And cat's okay too, apparently. Mr. Meow. Mr. Meow. Just gonna hide the epoxy on the back of this thing with a little bit of witchwood, and then this thing should be ready for staining. And then it's done. I got a glob of hot glue on the side here. Somehow. That shouldn't even be part of it. I should be able to just pull that right off. Yeah. Good. Don't have to hide that. Nice. Hey, Yolanda. Netherlands. Very cool. Hey, Tammy. What we're going to be doing tonight is finishing up this Soul Taker Talisman, which is a pendant for my haunt crew to wear, or me to wear on Halloween night, which has an internal light source. All of this cotton witchwood is going to get stained. I just needed something to do with those god-awful looking dollar store bony pigeons, so I have to do a last little bit of that and hide it on the back. This little bottle here is ready to be stained. All of this cotton stuff is going to get turned into what looks like twisted wood tonight. And I gotta finish up this one, and I gotta throw this one on, and this one I'm incorporating this little skull into the design. I'm gonna try to get all that done right here, right now. Kicking off with the talisman, because I'm working on this for a couple days, and the only reason it's taken so long is there was a lot of prototyping involved in that one. So I want it done, set, put to bed, finished. Finished. I don't think I've had too many viewers from the Netherlands before. One Austrian, several Australians, but very few from the Netherlands. One of the places I wanted to get over to when I was living in England, but I never got there, unfortunately. Let's get some cotton going. It's saturated. Hey Najee, how's it going? I was working over there. I was a science teacher in first Raynham and then Southend-on-Sea. And that was for my first year's teaching, and it was a hell of a ride for a brand new teacher. A hell of a ride. And that first year really shaped me. I enjoyed the history. It's a bad country to be overweight in when you're not in a touristy area, suffice to say. Yeah. Yeah. The people I met over there were lovely. Some of them were, I wouldn't say, hideously lasting, but some of the longest running communiques I've had in my life are with those folks. Of the good people I met over there, they're some of the best. Of the dickheads over there, they're some of the most immediately off-putting. It's a bad country to be anything but British sometimes, depending on where you go. If you go to a touristy area, you're fine. They're used to seeing people of all shapes, colors, and creeds. You go to a place where, it's, I'm not going to say it's the sticks, but it's, they're not used to seeing people who are obese, brown, black, different, then you'll get insulted on the street. They are unabashedly rude when they are unabashedly rude. Like my cat. Yeah, very dichotomous. But again, of the nice places are lovely. The country itself is beautiful. Scotland is gorgeous. All the historical places I went to are fantastic. They are great potion bottles, Betty. They are fantastic potion bottles. The original ones are these. These are the witch bottles that we did, and they are illuminated from within. That's already on a smooth transition. That one will fade through all the colors. Nice. Yeah, Scotland, I think, was the most beautiful of all the spots in the UK that I visited. Styrofoam that's hard and crumbly. The other problem with that one is that I'm not 100% sure the type of styrofoam you definitively have. Typically, I am familiar with two types. There is the more open cell foam, which is the type that when you scratch it, you get tiny thousands of little snowflake-like pieces that fly off. And then there is the closed cell foam, which is the stuff that if you try to scratch it and break pieces off, you will get large chunks that literally rip out of the project or the piece of styrofoam. So I use the second type. I think I detail that in my my tombstone video. I'm guessing you're probably using that. I mean, that is the kind of styrofoam that I buy, use, and work with when I do tombstones. Betty, I made a tutorial video on how to make these, if you're interested. Just check out my playlists. It'll be the Witchwood series, the Witch Bottle, and that'll show you how to make these things step by step. Hey, Carl. Yeah, the tiny little sphere styrofoam is, well, it's kind of crappy. If you got nothing else, though, I mean, it works, and it is cheap. If you get yourself a good hot cutter, it is actually not too bad. But it has to really be worked with a hot tool. Because if you try to actually cut it and crumble it, it falls apart. It's garbage. That's terrible, 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 as we know. Alright. Well, that's pretty much all of that stuff. Oh, wait, oh, not all hidden. That is a wine bottle. That probably used to be a bottle of Black Jewel, actually, which is a type of mead that I enjoy drinking when I was able to drink. All of a couple of months ago. I suppose I could still drink if I wanted to, but I would want to wean myself off my medication for a few days, and I have no intention of getting off my medication at the moment. Type of styrofoam. Yeah, that texture of those things will stick with you. Unless you cover it up with something else, like paper clay or a layer of some other substance. Alright. Well, being as I have to let that dry, I'm going to see if I can throw one last little wispy layer over the back of these wings, just because it's bothering me that the front has a cover and the back does not. Yeah, I threw that onto the thing a few days ago, Carla. I want to see if I could make the stream a little more dynamic looking. Thought a spooky little eye might look nice. Okay. This thing is almost set. And we'll just let that cotton dry, and tomorrow we'll stain it. Yeah. But we won't do that again. And then we'll see what the hell we're going to do with the beak, because that is literally the only thing I am not sure how well it's going to turn out. It's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. I'm grateful that the wind said, use the wings! Turned out alright. She had a good idea. Back to bottles in a moment here, though. Yeah. These guys aren't going to stick very well at the moment. There. Yeah, sure. Should be right there. So there is the main project. Wings over main. The rib cage that we modified. And there's the back, those tail wings that we modified, the bottom of the rib cage pieces, the other wings, the two loops. And there's where the rope's going to hang through. We have a safety catch for this battery chamber, so if you unscrew it, it's not going to fall down a grate and drive me insane, because I know that's going to happen. Yep. But this thing will come alive when it gets hit by stain tomorrow. And then I just got to make sure I get that stain wiped off the tube. Because I don't want that to get too... I don't want a browning layer on that tube. I would really like that to remain as translucent as possible. That's going to dry for now. Otherwise, I'll turn this bottle off because its demonstration purpose has passed. Should actually put that in the box of done projects. I really should only have one bottle up here for demo. Alright, and now we're on to this bottle. And once this bottle's done, I'm going to stain that bottle. Once that bottle's stained, I'm going to do that bottle. We're just going to write down the line here. Assembly line. Woohoo! This cotton is getting a little bit too dry. And a splash. There we go. Alright. So stoked that this one is able to work with these lights. I kind of want to have that in there and ready now, though. But I don't have a broad-bladed knife around. I suppose I could... Oh, deal with it later. Deal with it later. Cotton, right here, right now. Other crap, later on. I possibly could, but I mean I got that big brush, so yeah, paper mache paste is great. It's handy, stringy, does its job. You know what we ought to put on this? Should have put a mirror fragment on here. If I can't throw that skeleton on there, I should have thrown something else on there. Hey, Letitia. How's it going? Working on bottles for the witch display. Probably going to have a lot more than I need this year, considering all the others, but some of them are going to get stashed around the haunt. And much as I would love to make another orb, I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to make another orb before the Halloween season. Cool. I am just crafting my heart out here. Staying one step ahead of the cats if I can. Right, so we've got stuff on that side, stuff on this side. Stuff. That's right, this bottle's going to have a light in the bottom. Ah, I don't have to worry about junk around the top. That is so nice. Someday they will make a hyper-compact light source that I will be able to put into that size of bottle without screwing around and farkling with it. I would like some seriously thick witchwood for this leg of the project. I want a Burton curl on the bottom for this one. I haven't done a Burton curl in at least 2 projects. I'm missing it. Hi, Madge. What's up, cat? I would never do a whole tombstone out of witchwood. I'll do a tombstone and put witchwood on it, but I would never do a whole witchwood tombstone. I'm actually doing pumpkins with a bunch of 10th graders at school, and my pumpkin will get witchwood on it. I'm going to see how that looks. I should have enough time to get that done before Halloween hits, so that pumpkin can be part of my haunt this year. But, Matt, what are you doing down there? That's all good. Rushing and crafting is not the best idea. I mean, if it's your profession, then yeah, great, you accept that, but if you're a hobbyist like me, I have to have it done by this day. No I don't. No, I don't at all. Tisha, I actually have 2 sitting in here. One of them is yours. I have one in here that I will send to you. I did tell you I would do it. I am a creature of my word. I have the perfect one actually sitting right over. Let's see. Actually, no, I'll send you the better one. That one's a little bit further behind. But the first one was the first beach ball pumpkin, and it was done in haste, so it is on the painting stage. It needs black. Well, it's already black. It needs a little bit of additional black in touch-ups. Then it needs orange, and then detail and sealing, and it's done. That's the stage it's at. So it's painting. And once it's painted up, it can be shipped out. it happen. And it does look a hell of a lot better than that other one. That other one's just a round ball. Doesn't have any detail or ridging on it because it was the first beach ball pumpkin. Hi Trish, how's it going? I threw on some more music, but YouTube dinged me like 8 times for the last time I had Dance with the Dead on. And then it takes them 20 days to resolve a copyright dispute. Or 30 days. I still have it in the logs, Letitia. If for any reason it has gotten backed up too far, then I will send you a message. How's it going, John? Yeah. Sticky on the other side. I want some more texture in that. Get wrinkly. Get ugly. There we go. A little flat cut right at the bottom here. Get yucky. Excellent. Nice, John. How'd yours come out? Now, never forget, I've been making mine for a while, and my first one did not come out like all my other ones. Not at all. Nope, Najee, mine is not. I don't know, Cat. Where is it? I had to bring my first pumpkin up, or when I move into my larger craft room after this house purchase goes through, I think I will bring my first pumpkin in. Ah, okay, that is my channel name in Arabic. Cool. I thought you said, is my channel name in Arabic? I'm like, nope. Not bad. I've always thought Arabic was a very beautiful looking language. Ah. Well, it depends. Language sounds are... I don't necessarily mind guttural languages. I think that some of the Nordic languages are awesome sounding. I like the sound of German, and it's some might argue that German is a language that sounds like you're being mean with everything you say. suppose it's all done how you present yourself. You can run up to somebody waving something and yelling, "You clean my dick!" And then they get down on the floor, put their hands over their heads. Why would you do that? I said I love you. I mean, Samhain the cat. What is your problem tonight, little buddy? Well, I don't know. I don't know. You're yawning. Maybe you're tired. At least you're not caterwauling as much as you were a couple of weeks ago. I was afraid you wouldn't shut up at all. Come here. Yeah, come get some pets. Oh. Jug of ciders in the left. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, good boy. There you go, fuzzy bear. Thank God my hand doesn't have a lot of paper mache paste on it. Sometimes I've reached down, pet the fur ball, come back up with a handful of black fur. Oh yeah, I forgot. Alright, that bottom is done. Let's get a Burton curl going. Waiting for a Burton curl. And a relatively long, stringy piece. That should do nicely. Space. Because otherwise I'm occupied by filaments. And that's really the only one left. Damn, alright. This thing has a little bit too much of an edge on the leading spot. It's got to come off. Now we can form a Burton curl. Nice. All right, there we go. Have a good one. Have a good night. Stuff branched out, branched over. Rooted. I'm going to paint that one. Do the next one. And check the time. See what the hell my cat is doing. It's climbing the Matterhorn of boxes on the other side of the room. Sam. You know you're not allowed on the counter. Yep. Get your butt down from that. Come on. I wonder if there's a bug near the ceiling. It's more cotton. Three should be able to finish this out. Unroll some balls later. And we need some cider because it's fall. Oh, it's delicious. Oh. And I'm gonna need some tunes, which I would love to play openly, but stupid YouTube and their stupid copyright, stupid TuneCore company. I have nothing better to do than to listen to every single video that is published, just in case somebody uses somebody else's music. How's it going, Randy? I got a whole box of paper mache strips. I took it to work though, just because I got my kids doing pumpkins there. Hey Elvish, how's it going? Alexa, play Dance with the Dead. Thank you. I enjoy putting that up there too. The eye is provided by the good folks over at Atmos FX. Link in the description if you want to be able to project your own. They have a lot of really awesome animations. I use them in my haunt. If only, Tyler. If only. Two enough to make the talisman. That's not good, Elish. Yeah, you mind knows that. Yeah, I was actually quite tired earlier, down for a little bit, and almost didn't get on at all, but I really wanted to get some work done tonight, so I figured it was get up and go, or fall asleep. I actually wonder where the remnants have fallen, so they gotta be coming north. rained here last night. We had one of the rivers so swollen that 2 of the schools called off today. Cleared up after that. Yep, so you'll add more stuff to make overlapping, which would step. I like incorporating the roots on the bottom of the project. Gives it a slightly more naturalistic look. Where are you located again, Elvish? Football. I said, where are you located again? I can't remember where you're at. Ah, Utah. Gotcha. I think that one's pretty good. It should be lit from the inside. What's up, Furball? Aha! Get pet by the stick. Yes. Oh boy, fuzzy bear. Silly cat. Uh-oh. Deadlines. No! No deadlines! I'm going to use it when I have, and then I'm going to paint that one. Cooking stuff. Very cool. Yeah, drop some pictures if you can, Randy. When you get it done, obviously. Very cool. Hoping I don't catch what our social studies teacher had earlier today. Let's make this one come alive. Some fresh paint water. Back in a sec. Start doing painting on this and have it turn green underneath. Yeah, these should come out cool. I'm really anxious to see this one because I really love the round, kind of throwable ampule. But first I need not green paint water. I also need a clear path to the sink. Bugbear, good boy. stain just never wants to come out. Okay, that there, Raz. Cleaned up nice. Alright, let's make this one come alive. This stain really makes it glue. I want to stain cork. Gonna have to mix up some more stain pretty soon. No problem, Randy. I'm happy to be on. I actually had my first heckler tonight. I'm so proud. I figured I would get one eventually. Of course, they always heckle about the same thing, which makes them all kind of boring. Boring, pathetic, cowardly little people. Awesome. Maybe I'll hold on to it once I get down here, though. Should have done more filaments at the top, but I've got like 3 more of them, so. Towel, so I can stain on the tablet when I set that over there. Yep, here we are, Gareth. Going nowhere. Thanks, Lily. Easy way to make twisted wood looking stuff. Let's see if we can get a good angle for the camera there. Let's put the cap on. Now we got this one to do. Skull face on. Should be alright. Yep. And honey glue stringers. Welcome back, Elvish. I do not sell them, Lily, now. I have instructions on how to do all this over on my YouTube channel, though. It's very, very, very simple and easy to do. In fact, if you're just throwing the twisted wood on a bottle, it takes almost no time at all. Now, I haven't been up to too much other stuff, Gareth. We had the witch bottle, the witch orb. We started doing this, how dry is that? This pendant here, which has its internal light source. And we're going to stain that tomorrow. It's drying with the last of it today. That should look pretty good at night. More bottles to do here. I was kind of pleased I was able to get a light source for that one. Only problem is its remote trips my other ones. Students usually enjoy the project pretty well. And this year they actually wanted to start it earlier because a problem we've had in years past was that the first project was always the solar car, because my predecessor's project was always the solar car to start off with. And this year the students voted to start with the pumpkin, that way it would be done well before Halloween, because in the past we've had to hurry, hurry, hurry. No problem, Hannah. That's one of the reasons I do it. Is to have people to craft with, and show how to do things to, and hang out with, build a little community. Yeah. Yep, and if you want to find the stream, Lily, it's that same name up at over at YouTube. Majesty the cat, hi. Is today the day I can finally get you on TV? Or you give me slippery again? Yeah, I'm a science teacher at a local school. Hi, cat. Good girl. This is just for funsies. Filaments. Filaments first. Filaments first. All around the top. Close enough. I do want to make some more tombstones. I really want to update the ones in our haunt. Because we have originally a bunch of tombstones that we made from a piece of insulation that blew off the top of a Michael's store a number of years ago, and those are serviceable. But then I started doing the hard insulation ones, as I showed in my tutorial, and I like those a lot more. And we've been slowly replacing the old tombstones with the new tombstones, but we haven't got them all replaced yet. So yeah, I will be doing tombstones. Definitely. Can't guarantee when, but it's on the agenda. Because I have a bunch of tombstones to replace. I'll probably do those when I move into the bigger craft room. Because that way I'll be able to set up my styrofoam cutter and probably a little bit better ventilation. I just replaced the transformer on the styrofoam cutter. So if anything's wrong with it now, it's the dimmer switch. Damn it. And if I get really Halloweened out, then I'll go back to doing rock carving for a little bit. If people are interested, I'll show you how to do that on stream as well. Yep. We'll see where the lead up to this Halloween takes us. Don't know if we'll do it this year, but yeah, it is totally on the menu. I also want to get a little bit more creative with my tombstones. There's a gal on YouTube, I think Scary Lady is her stuff. She does these amazing tombstones. They are just absolutely beyond gorgeous. And I look at mine and they're like rocks. And while there's nothing wrong with rocks in our haunt because it matches the theme, her stuff is gorgeous. I'm so jealous. Yeah. Yeah, Terra is amazing. I know I can get better if I try. I'll need a vision. Vision is easy though. While I got this filament here, I probably want to go over the top of the skull. Nice, Randy. I find it much better to build stuff as well. Yeah, it matches the look of your haunt precisely. It's usually more durable, and it's infinitely more repairable half the time because you know how you built it. Plus, I always get horrible thrills out of people coming through the haunt going, "Oh my God, this stuff is amazing! Where did you buy it?" And then you snicker a little bit and say, "I didn't buy it. I made it." No. And you look at the looks of shock and awe. You made this? Yeah, I got into rock carving last December? March, December, thereabouts. Yep. Started doing little relief carvings in small stones. Got a project right now that I haven't touched on. All my rock carving stuff is at school. That's where I found I started doing it the most. Yep. I've known people with that issue before. Yeah. I don't have any around here right now. We'll try to bring in some works. Got a few in a bag somewhere. I haven't done any big projects, but my biggest project right now is a boar based on a Celtic pattern with a somewhat largish stone. Actually, no, come to think of it, one of mine's in the other room. Give me a sec, I'll grab it. Not really, Lily. I'm a scientist, so I'm more science. Give me a sec, let me grab that rock carving. I can show you guys the sort of stuff I've done. This one's partially painted, but not completely painted. Yeah. So, stone carving. Actually, let's do Alexa, turn off craft light. Hopefully the kitchen light will shine a little more contrast. Yeah. I actually don't like it with the just this layer of paint on it. It looked better as pure stone, but that was one of the rock carvings that I did. At some point I will paint the rest. I'll throw some gold on there as well, but it's all three-dimensionally embossed because it's carved out of rock. All that fun stuff. Yep, something I knocked down real quick. Based off a vaguely Celtic pseudo-Viking stuff. Kinda. Yeah, this is just a landscaping stone I picked up out in front of the school. And I went to town on it for a couple of days and carved it out. But that's generally the sort of style I do. Sometimes larger projects like this. This is probably one of the bigger ones I've done. Otherwise, just small, you know, like hand luckstone kind of projects. You could probably call this a runestone. Yeah. There's no actual runes on it, but it's done in the runestone style. Yep. So, at some point, I'll be back into that. That was a lot of fun, though, getting all the tools assembled and building a water table and all the other stuff. Yeah, no sweat, Randy. I'll be doing more with it eventually. Alexa, turn on craft light. Look at you, pretty girl. Yeah. If I do that on here, I will definitely need more space. That's right in here right now is not equipped for rock carving. I got filaments on the bottom of this thing. I had to make myself a little water table for it and everything. And that was a lot of fun, just figuring out what I could do and how I could do it better. When I started off, I was doing dry carving, and that was fun, but the problem with dry carving was, alright, I'm going to carve for a couple hours. Okay, now I need to clean off the 2 millimeters of desks on, or 2 millimeters of dust on every single surface in my entire classroom. Because it makes a lot of rock dust. And obviously when you're doing that, you have to have the proper protection. I wore my respirator while I was doing it. You do not want to be breathing in copious quantities of rock dust. It's not black lung, but it's, not good for you either. Yep. Don't want to screw around. What got me started was a guy on YouTube who does just general art and cool stuff. He's done like little miniature sculptures, and he does all manner of art. And I think his the video in particular was, I turn a paving stone into this, and he's got this video, and it's a beautifully just polished patterned stone, and that's where it started. So I watched his video, and it was just and he's talking about it. It's like, yeah, I got this grinding tool at Home Depot for 50 bucks. I'm like, all right, 50 bucks. And I got these diamond tip burrs here at the same store for like 8 bucks. All right, so 58, 60 bucks. And there we go. And it's like, I already own a respirator because I had that for my fireworks experiments. And so my startup cost to get into this would be 60 bucks. And I can make the same thing he's got, and then add my own twist on it. Well, I'm in. Cha-ching! Cash me in. I want to try. You could probably still find his video out there if you just search like rock carving paving stone. Very, very talented artist. I forget the gentleman's name offhand, otherwise I would immediately tell you. He is a decently well-visited art channel. He's a very boisterous fellow, which at times I found a little off-putting, but that's his channel, and that's his style, and heaven bless him. Everybody's got their style. Yeah, trust me, the science of doing that isn't as easy as they make it look, Willie. Besides, it ain't worth it in the long run. Never is. I also teach in an alternative ed school. I see what happens to the families of the kids who get into that stuff, and it destroys lives. It destroys lives, it ruins things, it's a horrible mess. And I would never, ever contribute to that. It's just absolutely awful. Jewelry in ancient times is a very interesting, interesting enterprise. Depends on how ancient you're going. I teach U.S.-based anywhere from 7th grade to 10th or 11th, depending on their status of how they pass their exams, which puts me right in the area of usually around 13 to 16 is my age range. Made some amazing art, Ford. Absolutely amazing art. I still love it to this day. I think a lot of artistic art progress peaked at Celtic knotwork, personally. Should be all the filaments. Filaments on the bottom, filaments around the top. Let's get this skull walled in and made into something special. I should have more than enough cotton to do the rest. To my music for a few moments. Go around the outside of the skull because I have hot glue to hide. Unfortunately. I'd not have that little symmetricity, but a lot worse to have visible hot glue. My rune stones are actual rune stones, Lee. My rune stones are just for fun. Actual rune stones were usually erected in memory of somebody's memory. It was not at all uncommon for wealthy folks to have them erected in memory of recently deceased family members. Every now and again you'll find them in recognition of a battle site or some major event in the local area. Yeah, usually markers, and most often memorials. Kind of like very, very important gravestones. The text on many of them reads things like, you know, Rani Olsson had this stone put up in memory of his father Orm, and then it'll usually say something about, you know, so-and-so carved the runes. That's the text on most of them. No. They were not usually used for people who were not respected. Those folks were simply forgotten. Or more commonly, you paid somebody called a skald, or poet, to make up lies about them. In humorous poems or songs which would spread rapidly throughout the local populace. So everybody would start singing about, you know, so-and-so's wart, or the fact that they couldn't get it up in bed. There is one mention in Egil's saga of a guy who set up something called a scorn pole. And I forget which country he was leaving at the time, and I can't remember if it was Kveldolf or Egil himself, but it was a horse's head on a pole which faced inland. And I can't remember if he put the person that he wanted to shame's name on it or not. It's been a while since I've read Egil's saga. That's the only mention I remember of a object of some sort used to heap scorn upon somebody. Yeah, pretty much. Yep. Or the traditions of the time. It's one of the reasons I love that era. Absolutely love that era and that place. The Scandinavian countries weren't anything too hugely special, but when you get to Iceland, things became a little bit cooler. Just because it was a country that kind of just assembled its own government out of nothing. And it was pretty much very much a true democracy. In as much as you could have a democracy in those days. Not really, Lily. My classroom is not heavily artified, just because some of that stuff becomes a little bit too much of a distraction. Plus, our school is used as a regional summer school, so whatever I haul in, I would have to haul out. And while that's not too much of an issue, I also don't fancy hauling in 20 tons of art and then hauling 20 tons of art back out every single year. If I'm working on a project at school, then I'll have it there for a while. I have a couple of my rock carvings still there because that's the last place I was working on them. And students have asked about them, and I've shown a few students how to use the rock carving apparatus when I'm able to. But I also still have to teach science, so that's usually like a day when, oh, 3 districts canceled school and I have 2 people in class. Alright, well, you wanted to learn how to rock carve, so today is literally your only chance. Now, in terms of Halloween stuff, I have a bunch of store-bought decorations that I do throw up for Halloween. But I don't have my actual haunt stuff because that's my stuff for my haunt. So I do throw a few things up, but most of my stuff goes to my haunt. It's actually something else I ought to invest in as well. If I start haunting my own house, I would like to get a security camera system. This place isn't bad, but if I ever did a vandalism incident, I would like to be able to track it and hand the police all the information. Like, here you go. Here's their faces. Here's the times. Here's everything. Go get them. Yep, been starting to do that for a while, Kevin. I'm a biologist, Lily. That's my primary discipline. Oh yeah, inside an actual haunted house. I have been in places that have been purported to be haunted. I've been through areas where I have felt ill at ease. Yeah. Been there, done that. Used to be heavily into spiritual type stuff a long time ago. I still enjoy it. I am nowhere near as avid as I once was. Yeah, I don't really believe in the whole haunting advent, quite frankly. I think it's very interesting. I think it's amusing. And I think most of it is just your brain going into overdrive. It's thrilling and fun, I'll admit, though. Ah, it's the same for everybody, though. That got pushed up. Eminently fixable, though. Yep, everyone's got their own experiences too. Should have some little branches coming off of this thing. So even though I'm not into it and I don't really credit it much myself, I would never ever say somebody else, you know, is wrong for it. They perceived what they perceived, then I'll be darned if I say their perceptions weren't what they perceived them as. Nice. This track. I love this track. Let's see here, it's 9:33. Those of you who are watching me on Facebook, if the feed suddenly cuts, be aware that Facebook has a 240-minute limitation in its live stream time. That does not necessarily mean that I have gone off air. It might mean that Facebook just hit its time limit. So, should that happen, and you're wondering why the stream suddenly dropped with no warning, it is not me. I don't think I'm there yet, but I've seen it happen before. Oh yeah, give me a sec. I'll bring this up to the camera for a closer inspection. Show if I can connect these two limbs. Of course we can. Let's get that centered. Adjust this in my grip. Yeah, skull face came out pretty well. I think I want to do a little root coming up from the bottom and hugging the lower jaw. Ought to be kind of grippy. Yeah, I love doing witchwood up and over a skull. One of the best ways to do it, in my opinion. I better do that root coming up and grabbing it from the opposite side. Twist it up like that over. So now I will have a thought. Yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. Fortunately, with a nice small bottle like this, I'll be able to stain this one and that one tomorrow. At least hopefully tomorrow. Assuming folks from Oneonta are not coming up to game. We'll find out. If they're here to game, I'll be doing that. I'm running out of cotton, which is good because we're approaching the end of this thing. I'm gonna see what the next project is. Actually, come to think of it, tomorrow's going to be a lot of staining because we'll have the Soul Taker Talisman to stain. We'll have this bottle to stain, and that bottle to stain. A lot of staining to do tomorrow. I just wish there was a small enough light source to dump into these. Yeah, take your time to be with her, Elvish. That's good. Forge the Rose of Memories. One more to cover that space there. Should just enough to do that. Ampule. And, you know, no, I'm not trying to force that disgusting last little blob onto somewhere. It didn't look very good. Alright, let's see if we can clean off any excess stain from here. Oh, it's still not quite dry. Yeah, now is the perfect time to do this. Remember that one time I really goofed. I didn't clean it off until afterwards. It did not look so hot. Some of them. Yeah, I've actually got a couple. Right here. That's not an even enough surface. Actually, I probably could drop that in there. Assuming it stays lit. I don't think this is as waterproof as they advertise, regrettably. But yeah. I didn't actually think that would fit in quite so well. The only problem with it is the light source is directed in one direction. I wish I had a more dispersed light. And I've also got these. Have a good night, Elvish. And these are a pretty good light, and they've got a remote, but their remote conflicts with the remote that I'm using for all the other stuff, which is regrettable. But we will see in the end how it works out. I am kind of stoked now, though, that I know that this will fit in there, because that will at least get me something against the side. If I put a little bit of white paint in the bottom, not a lot, and just kind of got it around, that might be enough to refract the color. Alright, well, now I'm kind of curious. I have all those stupid reflective glass beads that I've been, glass micro beads. Let's do a little experiment. Don't know how this will work. It's not hugely important. We'll find out. Get a better idea now. Which blue? That was a green light. Hey, Kelly. Yeah, we're going to see if we can enhance that effect. Let's see if we can get an art medium in there that'll do something with it. I've had this crud for ages, and I haven't been able to do a mumpin' thing with it. Reasonably sure it's clean in there. Looking at this, I don't think it'll work, but I haven't had anything to do with this stuff in years, so I just as soon try. It's all good, man. Hey, Shell, how's it going? Nope, sadly it does not diffract the light. It just kind of buries it. Alexa, turn off craft light. Doesn't look too bad on the surface, though. You can kind of use it to hide the component. Well, at the very worst, I can get it to look like a light underneath some sort of sand. Sadly, the reflective beads do not enhance that much. It's hard to hide. Clay to stay wet looking. 3 days. Still looks wet, but not. I've never had that happen, Shell. No. Usually when my stuff dries, it just straight up looks dry. I'm guessing when you touch it, it feels dry, though. Would be my guess. Yeah, sadly it is not diffused enough, and so you're only getting the front, and from straight on you get it a very, very bright, versus from the sides you really don't. It's a very pointed beam as opposed to a kind of a unilateral diffusion. Even if it did mold, it doesn't matter, because if you urethane over it, that mold will be caught in dryness and locked in ever after, so it will not spread. It's just locked, and yeah, now it's part of your project. Pieces coming away. People should not come away. There they go. Yeah, now, don't fear mold in mache. Not if you're going to urethane and seal it. The fear that you've got is if your mache is not sealed, then the mold will continue to spread because it's going to keep absorbing moisture from the atmosphere, and it's going to keep spreading, and it's going to eat your project. So that's the fear when you got mold. But if it's sealed, then the mold is sealed in, no more moisture will go in with it, it's locked, it will never spread, it will never move on. Thanks, RIP! I've been having fun making them. What a darn good time. So once again, these 45 to 850 micron beads are just not doing the trick. I gotta find a use for these stupid things. Ah! Awesome, yeah. I love that. The puck lights have been my favorites. Those are the best. Absolute best. Alright, so that is set. Just needs to dry. We gotta decide if we can get a better lighting solution. At least we know these capsules will fit in there. Hell, I could put 3 in there. I've got like 12 of them. That'd got one for that, and I've got a bunch of blue ones, and I've got a bunch of green ones. Can always overwhelm it with light. Then we just have to hide the light. And that actually is the greater challenge. Come to think of it, though, I was trying to think if I took this cork and hollowed out a large portion of it, how much of this would stick down through if I made it a piece of the cork. Because that's an option here. Then I could turn it on, stick it into the cork, and then just put it in there. And that would be really, really easy. Yeah. All I'd need is a drill. I'd have to pull this little plastic piece off, but that wouldn't be too bad. I've heard these guys aren't great on battery power. I might have to pull this little tab off the top and rely on it just to squeeze in. There would also be a very, 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 very thin border of cork all around. And drilling would have to be very precise. Very touchy. These lights were not super cheap, but not expensive either. Maybe $9-10 for 12 of them. My problem with them is they work on these stupid LR41 batteries, and my big goal for this year was to get away from weirdo batteries. I really wanted to have everything be AA, AAAs. That's why I like the puck lights, just because these guys are standard. I can walk into any drugstore and get the batteries for them right then, right there, no problem. There's never going to be a battery conundrum. Versus walking into a store, hi, I need a LR291/BZA QR91 battery. You got those? A what? Yeah, they're used for I don't even know. They're used for diving equipment for, you know, hamsters. You guys don't sell hamster diving equipment? What? Why not? Well, that kind of brings us to the end of projects for right now. I got that ampule, I got this one, I got that one. We got one other teardrop one that's done. That has the skull on top. I got one with the skull on the side. Yeah, that's the other problem with those batteries. They are more expensive than just the standard brands. We got one Soul Taker Talisman, which I want to see how that thing comes out before I send it to my haunt people and be like, hey, look what I made. You guys want them too? I want to find out how I like the look of that. And I also got to find out how I can weave these chicken legs into the necklace for it as well. Because I don't want that necklace to just be a piece of burlap twine. I want to improve that. What else we got? Those skulls are done. I still got to finish the monster bottle. I got paint for that. So it goes back up here. I gotta do Letitia's pumpkin now. She reminded me. I said I would. I better get that going. To do that, I need to clear some space, but that's still not a problem. Alright, well, we got projects. We got projects. A headdress can be quite cool. Yeah, particularly if you throw a light source in it, and you'll have a lot of options for how to light something like that, because you won't be confined to the small space. You can throw and hide a battery compartment in there just about anywhere. Now, like I said, if you want to see the cauldron I'm going to make, head on over to Oak Lane Cemetery. That's what I'm doing. Pretty much exactly to the letter. I might mess up a little bit with some more paper mache and add some bits to it. somebody in, I think it was the Halloween DIY group, was making a cauldron. It's got these beautiful legs on it. It's got a skull, and it comes up with this almost flame-like looking pattern into the cauldron, and it is just an absolutely gorgeous look. And I might go for something like that. That'll be my own take on it. I'd love to throw witchwood on it, but you can't throw witchwood on a cauldron. It's got to be exposed to fire, and fire and twisting wood means you get ash. So it just doesn't work. It does not work. It's new. But I also got to get some herbs, because I want some of these things to be stuffed with plant material, leaves and herbs of some sort, because my witch is not a my witch is a holistic witch. Let's see if I can find anywhere where I can get deadly nightshade. Of course, I actually don't want that in my Halloween display, because I don't want some kids stealing a bottle and trying to eat the leaves. It'd be bad. Very, very bad. Alright. However, we are probably set with projects for tonight, folks. It's 10 o'clock, so I'm gonna, since I got started early, I'm gonna get done early. Actually, I need the craft light, but I'm thinking I'm going to be done in a second here, so that's that. Tomorrow or the next day, we will stain these two extra bottles and the pendant. Oh, have a good one, Larry. And everybody else, thank you very much for hanging out with me and crafting tonight, and we will catch you around next time. I chatted with the admin of Halloween DIY if it's okay for me to post my live stream notices there. They haven't gotten back to me, so I posted one there. I will continue to do so. Good stuff. Night, folks. Have a good one. And thank you all for crafting with me and keeping me going, so I don't turn into a slump of, I'm only doing this. Cool. It's a pretty good group. Alexa, stop. Just wish I could have my music playing. Stupid YouTube. Their stupid copyright. Yep, good seeing you, Kevin. I'll catch you around. No problem, Shell. We'll have more coming out the next time we have a project that is super worth showing off. Have a good night, everybody. I don't have a fuzzy greeter. I bet I'll have a fuzzy greeter in a second here. Put this on to dry. Sip of cider.